program here, and thanks for joining. If you are new to our channel, you want to hit the subscription button below. That way you will get notifications when we're coming on live. And every other Tuesday at 2 o'clock, I come on here and we'll talk about a different nutrition topic. So if there's anything you want to have me talk about, you can put that in the comments below. And if you have any questions, put those in the comments as well. So just waiting for a few of you to get on here and we'll get started. Again, thanks for joining. Today's topic, we are going to be talking about protein powders. So it is a huge topic because there are so many products when you go to the grocery store. There is a whole few rows, right? Seems like it's taken over more and more of the supplement rows. So we're going to be talking about that. So, gosh, there's so many options and there's so many claims on the label. So it can be very confusing for you when you go to select the best protein for you. So we'll talk about that a little bit today and the different protein powders. But first of all, is it really necessary? Is a protein powder necessary? So nutritionally speaking, if you eat an adequate diet, then no, you don't really need a protein powder. You can get all your nutrients and your needs from whole foods. But in reality, like many individuals, they do struggle to get adequate amounts of protein in. Maybe you're a vegan or a vegetarian, it'll help you get some more protein in, or you have food sensitivities, allergies, or you're someone who works out constantly and you have a greater need for more muscle using that protein powder for extra protein and recovery. So protein powder can fill in those nutritional gaps there. So it can be used medically necessary sometimes, and so for athletes or for the elderly. So there are different individuals that can use a protein powder, but I want you to know what type is the best for you. So when you go down that aisle, you know what you're looking for. So different types of protein powders out there. So there's going to be, first of all, you want to decide if you're omnivore or you're going to go like a vegan or vegetarian. So that is personal preference. So you can decide if you're eating animals, then you could definitely go with whey. If you're not, then you can go with a protein powder from Plantbased. So that's, first of all, you decide, that's personal preference. And then there are different types of protein powders, so we'll talk about that first. So first of all, what is a protein powder, right? Just the basic, it is a concentrated form of protein from an animal source or plant foods. So it can be dairy, eggs, rice, peas, hemp. So those would be where the protein is coming from. And there's three common forms. So you will see these on the label. So we'll talk about the three common forms. There's the concentrate. So that is produced, that's the protein that's produced from the whole food using heat and enzymes and acid. And it usually will lead to a protein that's 60 to 80% concentrated, and the rest, 20 to 40, is carbohydrates and fat. So that's your concentrate. The next one is your protein isolate, and that is where there's additional filtering process, and that removes the fats and the carbs. So it will usually lead to a concentration of protein 90 to 95%. And then the third is the hydrolyzed. So that protein goes through further heating. It breaks down the bonds between the amino acids. Okay, so this protein is quickly absorbed by the body and the muscles. Studies have shown that it does increase insulin levels more quickly than the other forms of protein. So we have the concentrate, we have the isolate, and we have the hydrolyzed. So the three different forms. And then some protein powders are fortified with vitamins and minerals and calcium. So you can see that on the label as well. So those are the different types of protein. And if your diet is already rich in high quality protein, when you add in a protein powder, you're not going to see much difference in your body. So it's really for people who have the need. So So let's first talk about our animal protein. So there's whey. I want to talk about whey. It's very common. So this comes from milk. So it is the protein, the liquid that separates from the curd in the cheese making, right? And it's high in protein, but it does have some lactose. So if you get the isolate though, the isolate is less in lactose. So if you eat animal products, but you have a little lactose intolerant, you want to go for the isolate powder. The whey is digested very quickly, and it's rich in branched-chain amino acids. You've probably heard BCAAs before, and that has a huge role in promoting muscle growth. So that's your whey. And so whey, let's talk about the taste. So sometimes it can be having a chalky flavor. That's more with the unflavored wheys. Now there's so many options out there. You can have peanut butter, chocolate, you can have caramel. I mean, you name it, coffee flavors, whatever you want, there's out there. So the taste is chalky, but the whey does yield more of a creamy texture versus the plant-based. So just a little difference in taste there. There's also egg protein. You might have seen an egg protein powder out there. That one's usually made from just the egg whites, so the quality of the protein is not as good. So you're not getting all your amino acids. So that one's not as, what's the word? I just lost the word. So the egg protein is not a complete protein. So it's not as popular as whey. So let's talk about some plant-based proteins. So your whey protein, your animal, is a complete protein. So that means it has the 9 essential amino acids that we need, that we don't make. It's high biological value protein, so it's complete. So with plant-based protein, in this case, you'll see a combination of different plant-based to make it complete. So that's a big difference, but you're still getting a complete protein because they combine different plant-based proteins. It may be pea with chia seed and flaxseed, and just a different combination of plant-based proteins. And you'll see that on the label when you read the ingredient list. So with plant-based, what was I going to say? The texture has a little bit of a gritty texture, and the taste is a little bit more earthy. But you can throw in mixtures and improve the taste significantly, and not really see any difference in flavor. So for example, if you were making a smoothie with your plant-based protein, you would throw in fruit and vegetables and whatever you're adding in, and that will really enhance the flavor of your shake, and you won't notice the grit, the texture at all in the smoothie. So that is our plant-based protein, and we talked about the whey protein. So we want to look at other things on the label as well. So make sure you're reading that ingredient list. The less ingredients, the better, because some have a whole list of maybe fillers, gums. So these are things that we want to look out for. So sweeteners is a big one. So a lot of them use artificial sweeteners, dextrins, high fructose corn syrup to really create that sweet taste. And so we want to avoid these as much as we can. So you want to choose one with no sugar or naturally sweetened. Maybe it might have monk fruit, cacao powder, it might have cinnamon, vanilla, bean, juice powder, or just a very low amount of cane sugar. So you want to look at where the sweet taste is coming from and avoid those artificial sweeteners as much as you can. The next thing is ease of use. So you want to be able to use your protein powder in many different ways. Maybe you're not a protein drink smoother, but you want to add it to your oatmeal in the morning to increase the protein in your bowl of oatmeal. So maybe you don't want it to have a flavor. Maybe you want a chocolate one to add chocolate taste and protein to your oatmeal bowl. So you definitely want to choose one that has ease of use for you. A lot of people do throw it in chia pudding, pancakes, soups, so you want to have one with no flavor, casseroles, and pizza crust. So there's a lot of ways that you can add in that protein powder with no flavor into your everyday cooking to help increase the protein. So, so ease of use and sweeteners we've talked about, and then the digestibility is very important. And timing does play a big part in your body's ability to digest, but you want to look at the ingredients. A lot of us cannot digest thickeners and gums. These are just indigestible, like carrageenan, xanthan, locust bean gum. So you need to see how you feel after, if you bought something with those thickeners and didn't feel well. You want to see, find one that has less of these fillers and gums. And then there's also some that have fiber, added fiber, and it might be too much for you to handle. Some have psyllium fiber in them. You know, those can cause bloating and constipation and diarrhea. So you definitely want to look carefully at the whole ingredient list and know what's in the protein powder, and is it organic versus non-organic, and you know, what are you consuming if you are going to purchase a processed protein powder. So those are just a few things you want to look out for. Always reading that food label. Where is the sweetness coming from, and are there fillers in there, added ingredients that may cause digestive problems for you and that you don't need? And then, are you going to choose whey versus plant-based? And that's a personal choice for you. So again, it's a great way if you're not meeting your protein needs to enhance the protein content in your cooking. And if you need a quick meal and a quick protein drink, throwing in vegetables, chia seeds, maybe some peanut butter or avocado to make it rich in healthy fats, then it's maybe a tool that you can use in your diet. And so I just wanted to make sure that you have the facts on how to shop for the protein powders out there. Because like I said, the amount of different options out there are endless, and it's really important that we read those labels, and a lot of claims are made on those labels, so you just want to make sure you know how to select the best protein for you and for your needs. And so that's just a little wrap on protein powders, and I will be back tomorrow, every Wednesday, for a cooking demo. So that's going to be an easy recipe that you can make for lunch, dinner, snack. It's going to be super fun, so I hope you guys all join me tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And if you have any questions, again, just put them below and I'll get back to those. Thanks for joining me again today, and you guys have a great day.